You are welcome to our channel. Don't forget to like, to share, and also to subscribe. In the news today, demolish police duplexes, Wike outrage over arrest of Fcta officials. In Abuja, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCTA on Wike on Friday stormed Akpo Duse district in Abuja, where 11 duplexes built by the Nigerian police force under high-tension power lines were demolished by the Development Control Department. Wike, visibly angered, condemned what he described as a brazen abuse of power by the police following the arrest and detention of FCT Development Control Enforcement officials who carried out the demolition. Government is here to enforce rules, not to break them. How can anybody take such a risk building directly under high tension lines, even if there were no high tension? Once development control says no approval, nobody has the right to take the law into their hands just because they have force, Wike declared. According to him, the Nigerian police had earlier applied for approval to develop the land, but the request was turned down on safety grounds. They refused to stop. They went ahead. When development control came here to do the right thing, the officers were arrested. That is unacceptable. I will take this up with the appropriate authorities because this cannot stand. Wike vowed. Wike expressed shock that an institution charged with enforcing the law will openly violate planning regulations and endanger lives. He assured residents that the FCT administration will not hesitate to enforce planning laws regardless of the status of the violator. Imagine the danger if these duplexes had been completed and people started living here. One spark and hundreds of lives will be lost. We cannot fold our hands and allow impunity in the name of development, Wike warned. The minister promised to formally raise the matter with the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, who he said was out of town and may not have been aware of the development, insisting that Abuja's master plan must not be compromised under any guise. The Director of Development Control, Mukhtar Galadima, who accompanied the minister, disclosed that the disputed land, Plot 189 Cadastral Zone B14 Duse, was allocated to the police in 2018 for institutional development. He explained that the department denied approval after observing that the plot fell directly beneath the high-tension transmission lines and also within the route of a proposed flood control bridge. We wrote to them, clearly stating why we could not grant approval. They ignored our letters and notices, proceeded with excavation and construction, and even after we attached a copy of a letter from the Department of Engineering about the bridge, they still defied us. Yesterday, we had no option but to move in and enforce compliance. Unfortunately, our officials were detained by the police until the minister intervened. The administration had on Thursday demolished the 11 duplexes for blatant violation of city planning regulations, warning that developers who ignore official directives will not only lose their investment but also face stiff penalties. The duplexes, located along Garba Buba Street in Akpo Duse district, were erected directly under high-tension electricity lines and across stream channels, raising serious safety and environmental concerns. Galadima, who led the enforcement team, had said the owners were repeatedly warned but chose to defy the law. I think Nigerians should, I know at this point in time, please desist from this unnecessary impunity. I know when things are not in the right perspective with us, we can seek redress in the court of law instead of taking laws into our hands. We are not going to also brush aside the overhandedness or underhandedness of government officials, and sometimes when they want to go about things and they want to frustrate the people. Yes, but be it as it may, I think we should remain law abiding, especially when things are, not in our favor. In this situation now, this is two display of power by two different government institutions. One is the Federal Capital Territory Authority, and the other one is the Nigerian Police Force. If the minister could come out to explain clearly like this, and it seems as if the police seems to disagree, I think they should go to court rather than, dancing naked in public in this manner. How on earth will you, arrest a man that is under the law, empowered by the law to do his duty? A civil servant like you are, a government official like yourself. It is so wrong. It's not supposed to be. In fact, the way the thing looks like as if chicken they chop the intestine of another chicken in this country ought not to be, because if they are giving good reasons, and I think a clear thinking person, if he's going to go by what Mr. Wike has said without any bias, will know that whatever the number of duplexes and whoever the so-called institution, this thing cannot stand. How on earth will you erect 11 duplexes under a high tension wire when we understand the implication of the high tension if there is any attack as from hazard now coming from it? This is very, very important. You can't build under a high tension. It's so wrong. And not only that, the floodplain again, the terrain of where you are, and you also know that place is, a federal capital territory, that the best should be given, and also environmental assessment impact and the likes will have been carried out before any construction or demolition, anything whatsoever will be done in a particular environment and also on the land. But if the Nigerian police now decide to, turn a deaf ear to this kind of warning, I don't know what our institution is turning into. Is it this power that is corrupting? I think it's not supposed to be. So this time around, I think Ms. Onwike got it right by, making a statement of seeking redress with the right authority. Very good. He might discuss with Inspector General of Police and then table their reasons for refusing the police from using that land. And also they can sit down, to compromise and then decide probably to look for another plot entirely that has no, negative impact on the, environment. Neither is it going to pose a threat to the people that will eventually live in that place in future. And they can allot it to the Nigerian police and let them build whatever they have in mind to build. Keep liking our channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And please give us your thumbs up. Thank you.